So good morning and welcome to this HJ in conversation with our partner in this is VTCT Skills. Good morning to everybody on my screen. So let me introduce everybody for those of you that don't know. So I'm Ena Salon, I'm Executive Director of Hairdressing Journal International. And this morning I am joined by Nicola Steinbach, who's Business Development Manager for VTCT Skills. Leigh Kerr, who is Training Director at Rainbow Room International and 3 times winner of Educator of the Year at the British Hairdressing Business Awards. And George Newton-Beck, who is a stylist and fairly recently qualified hairdresser, who's at the Ena Salon in London. So good morning to you all.
Morning.
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 Thank you for getting up on this cold morning and coming and joining us today. I want to talk to you all about education and skills and the importance of ongoing education and how it's worked for you guys. But I think really what would be great to start with is just to get a bit of background about how you ended up here and in the roles that you're in. So Nick, I'm going to start with you. So if you want to give us a little synopsis of how it all started for you, that would be great.
Of course. Good morning, everybody. So I started my career, my goodness, over 30 years ago. I did an apprenticeship. Back in that day, it was called a YTS, a youth training scheme. So yeah, giving my age away a little bit there. But I worked in a really well-known chain of salons in Scotland and absolutely loved hairdressing. But very early in my career, I had aspirations to move into colour. So from my early 20s, I worked for colour manufacturers as an educator, and amazing opportunities because it allowed me the opportunity to travel, and it actually took me down south because whilst I am very Scottish, I lived in England for many years working in education. And so that was working in brands, working with employers, salons, working in academies. And then in about the last 10 years, I moved into further education. So I have worked in apprenticeships, I have ran apprenticeship training providers, I have worked in the wider FE sector, and then for the last 3 years I have been the business development manager for hairdressing at VTCT Skills.
Wow. So varied and wide. So George, let's come to you next. So you're newer into the industry. So give us a little bit about how did that start? How did it happen?
So I started about 6 years ago. Started back in Leeds at a place called Excess Hair, and I was there for about 5 years, about 4 years, and then I got promoted to assistant manager, and then I felt like I wanted to do more with my hairdressing career, so I decided at 21 I moved down to London by myself, didn't know anybody at all, and
Big move.
yes, and just became a stylist down in London, and that's where I've been for the last just over a year now. I think it's been 14 months now I've been here.
Brilliant. And were you doing an apprenticeship or were you at college? You were doing an apprenticeship?
So I was doing an apprenticeship,
Yeah.
which I did my level 3 with VTCT.
Right. Okay. Fab. And Laura, I can see the trophies. You've got them hidden behind you, behind all sorts of magic on that shelf at the back. But give us a synopsis.
So I started as a 15-year-old work experience a little bit by accident. I actually didn't want to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a PE teacher. And I picked hairdressing because I thought it was going to be a sky from school. My perception was that it was going to be dead glam and dead easy. And it was obviously anything but the minute I walked into our salon in Buchanan Street, I just fell in love and basically never left. And to be honest, they wouldn't let me leave either. So it was Alan was like, oh no, you're staying.
So Rainbow Room from the start then. So you've been part of the Rainbow Room International family.
28 years.
So a lifer like me.
And
then have just progressed from that YTS training through.
So from work experience, moved on to become a Saturday girl. Worked as a Saturday girl for about 6 months until I did my 4th year exams. Literally finished my last exam, walked out of school, went straight back to the salon, did my apprenticeship, qualified quite quickly and worked as a stylist, a very young stylist. I was only 17 when I qualified, so I had to tell the clients I was a wee bit older. some quite small, so I looked quite young, and then went on to do my Assessor's Award. My dream actually was to get a franchise. That was what I really wanted to do. I wanted to go into management. I wanted to get a franchise, but Alan kind of saw something in me that about educating. I quite liked educating the new Saturday girls and the new apprentices. So we had lots of discussions and decided that this was the pathway, and opened our first training academy that is here in 2003. So have been training director since I was about 21.
Wow. Okay. And so seen lots of students come through, and actually you will have all seen.
Yeah, I think the last count maybe 1,600.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. That is a lot. And I think
Yeah.
you're all in or have been in education, so kind of around the, different ways. I mean, the world has changed. There's no doubt about that. And the way people learn has changed probably since the ladies on the call were training. And there's more of a hybrid approach. George, you were in salon apprentice and then in college as well? Is that how you did yours?
Yeah, so I was in the salon, and then every 2 weeks I then went to college at West Shore Academy.
Yeah. Okay. And that was kind of almost bardering and getting you ready.
Yeah, so once I'd qualified, I then had to do like the in-salon test kind of thing before my manager at the time decided then I was at a level that I could go onto the shop floor.
Yeah, fair enough. And Nick, are you seeing a change at VTCT in the type of skills that people are asking for now, either colleges or salon owners, academy owners, from all the different, there are many ways that you can train in hairdressing, but the skills that are needed will still be the same. Are you seeing a change in the kind of skills that people are asking for?
Absolutely. I mean, there's always going to be the need for the fundamental skills, but I think that the world has changed, the industry changed, and the profile of the learner that's coming into the industry has changed now. So there is a much greater need for those softer skills. So developing those personal and social awareness skills, employability skills, understanding kind of how to manage themselves. So those softer skills and those enrichment skills, you see a lot of colleges and private training providers right across the UK really embedding them and weaving them into the vocational skills as well, using them as induction programs, so that the young person and the individual that's coming into the industry is really being fully equipped across all of those broader skills that are essential to becoming a successful hairdresser or barber.
And Laura, obviously you've got a lot of students under your direct care.
Yeah.
And for a long time, because you've been doing the role for quite some time now. How have you seen the change? Do you feel that your role has changed in terms of how you're perceived?
Absolutely. Our role has definitely changed. We have to have a much more nurturing approach to our students. Long gone are the days of just, long hours and, repetitive training with a much stricter approach. Young people don't respond to that. There has to be a much more nurturing approach. Their mental health, their well-being has to be at the forefront of the training. The new qualifications obviously offer a more holistic approach to learning and assessment, but we have to have a more holistic approach to overall training and education. We do a lot of nurture days alongside our apprenticeship and the actual fundamental skills and the specific units. We do days where they get to paint. We do days where we do, we'll do gender pronoun awareness days. We've had alcohol awareness days, lots of things that are going to give them life skills that are not necessarily relevant to the fundamentals of hairdressing.
I was just going to say, it's actually equipping people with life skills, isn't it? George, did you get some of that kind of support?
Yeah, so we did, before we actually started doing much to do with hair, we had a big folder through of like life skills and stuff, like like British values, just it was just to help us kind of grow up, because when you do start, you are 16 years old. Like
Yeah.
you're not like a grown adult or anything at that point, even though you think you are, but you're not. Um, so I think,
Spoken like
yeah,
a true
just
person over 21. I love that.
yeah. So I think, yeah, it just gives you that little bit of extra support that
Yes.
to help you grow up a little bit, because you're not in a college, like an actual college. You're in like a proper workspace environment at that point.
And I feel from the feedback I have when I work with VTCT, and when we're out talking to people in industry, the role of the tutor has often changed, whether that's a private provider, the salon owner, or the college, to your point, Laura, that much more nurturing and, in some ways doing some of the family stuff. If the family support hasn't been there, you're actually taking them. It becomes the community. We always talk about hairdressing being a community. I think for many people that is such a critical part of why they want to be a hairdresser.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming back from COVID, we had training for all of myself, the management team, all the salon directors, and the educators, and
Yeah.
all of us did our full mental health first aid qualification.
Brilliant.
And we had planned to do it pre-COVID, not realising that COVID was going to happen. Then COVID kind of shut it down for a while. And then coming out of COVID, I can't even describe the positive impact that qualification has had for us and for the benefit of our young people.
Nick, are you finding more people asking for those kind of, because we spoke very briefly before we went live about, clients do come and tell their stylist, technician a lot. And that can be quite a burden on the individual, particularly if they haven't got the life skills and experience or just don't know what to say. I mean, that's often the case.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at VTCT Skills, we approach this in two ways, because first of all, we've had to ensure that we've designed our qualification offering to reflect these wider skills. So mental health, sustainability, personal skills, all of these different qualifications that empower the individual to succeed in their career. But on the other side of that, we also have to support the teaching staff to ensure that they're equipped to be able to deliver those qualifications. So making sure that we provide the right train the trainer and resources and continual professional development to allow them to feel confident and empowered to teach that future generation. So it's kind of double-edged that we have to have the product offering, but we also have to be able to support those that have the responsibility of teaching these individuals coming into our industry.
And also, you never stop learning, right? I don't believe that anybody knows everything. So there's always, particularly in hairdressing, there's changing trends, there's new products, there's new techniques. If you look back to what hairdressers were doing 30 years ago and what they do today, it's very different in terms of the skills that they're required to have. So it is about keeping up to date. And I know, George, you qualified with VTC, but you're part of the more stuff with VTC, which is allowing you to kind of grow your own knowledge, but also your own profile too.
Yeah, so I'm doing extra stuff with Cloud9, fortunately, which is helping me see a lot of sides of hairdressing that I wouldn't see behind the chair. Whether that's going on shoots with whether that's going to events like the British Hairdressing Awards. There's so many different sides of hairdressing that I don't think everyone gets to see, because they just think you're just someone stood behind the chair. But I think between the people that I hear in the call today, there's so many different career opportunities in hairdressing that you don't always get to see.
Well, you came and appeared on our new academy stage, didn't you, at Salon? Which, and how was it? Just because that takes you out of your comfort zone, and it's continuing that education, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think, I'll be honest, I didn't really look up until like the last 10 minutes. And then when I looked up, someone's got a video of me, and I was shocked at how many people were stood there. And I didn't know they were all stood there. I think at one point there were about like 20 phones just recording me, and I was like a bit taken aback. But I think the adrenaline from it all just gets you through it, and yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
And I also think with experience, the next time, I mean, anyone on this call, the first time you do something is always terrifying, right? But I also think nerves are a good thing because they keep you on your mettle to want to be better. I don't know if you would agree with that, Laura, but I don't think anyone takes for granted, you don't ever take it for granted that you're going to get it right.
No, absolutely not. I've spent the last 2 years working under Susie in the art team, and that
Yeah.
was properly out my comfort zone. I've never really enjoyed being on stage in that platform. I'm completely comfortable in an academy environment. I could have one learner, 100 learners. That doesn't at all faze me.
Yeah.
Putting me on stage in front of an audience, and I just lose it, or so I thought. But about 2 years ago, Susie was like, "No, you're coming in the art team, you're helping with the shoot."
Yeah.
We finalised our shoot last year, finalised BHA for art team, and I was on stage last year assisting Susie and Diana at Salon International, this year again at Salon International, and was on the business stage. So definitely the first time, like, so nervous, and then the second time you're like, "Oh, I've got this." Like, they couldn't get the mic off me.
I love that. We've had a message from Daryl. It says, totally agree. Every day is a learning day. If you think you know it all, you're in the wrong job. Growth is so important in our industry. And he also adds, George, you're a little rising star. So there you go. Definitely one to watch. I think it's also, we're seeing more people coming into the industry having started maybe other careers, or actually having had another career and decided, you know, there are jobs that are disappearing because we're moving at such a rate with technology, and actually future-proofing their own life by seeing that in hairdressing, it's not going to be replaced by online. And, it will still be a personal service. Are you guys seeing that as well?
I would say absolutely. We're on tour at the moment with the Collective Live, and we are seeing hundreds of students and teaching staff right across the length and breadth of the UK. And there are so many different stories. We have people who have decided to change careers in their 20s and 30s because, as you said, they want to future-proof. We've had, plumbers, scaffolders, IT people, art students, and they've all decided that to take that step into this industry because they know that they want to provide for their own future. They have families now, and I think that it's such an inclusive industry, isn't it? And there are so many opportunities and career paths that people can go down. So we at VTCT Skills are definitely seeing a big step change in people from all walks of life embarking on this fantastic career.
Yeah. Are you seeing that, Laura?
Yeah, we've definitely had an increase. We run a fast track programme as well as the apprenticeship route, and we've definitely had a massive increase in the applications coming through of people looking for absolute career changes. Like, I've previously trained people that were ex-military, police, art teachers, that are just looking for absolute career path changes.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's good to see. And I think, there's a wider piece, isn't there, around actually all of us in the industry promoting the industry as such a great place to work, because the opportunities, and George, you're finding this now, you've left home, you've come to London, you've found yourself a role, you're now been on stage, you've been on shoots, you're creating your own journey now, but with the help of keeping the education at the forefront.
Yeah, definitely. I think, to be fair, I think it all stems back, for me, it all stems back to one person, and that's, you all know, Marie, who works a lot with the Hairdresser Journal, and she now works at Cloud9. But I think at one point, I think everyone's had it where at one point you're like, I don't want to do hairdressing at the moment. It's not for me right now. But Marie then came to me as a college tutor, and she completely changed my whole career. I don't think I'd be in London. I don't think I'd be on stage if it wasn't for Marie. So I think finding that that tutor that can make you just change your career is so vital to everyone.
What was it that she said or did?
Well, it was back to about the support. So it was about she didn't just support me within the college, she supported my life outside the college. We spoke about family, we
Yeah.
spoke about just external life from work, and it was so nice having someone
Yeah.
support. Like last night, she messaged me and said, because she knows about that I'm doing this today, and she was like, "I'm so proud of you. Just be yourself." And I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, Marie." But if I ever have anything, she's the first person I ask. She always replies to me, and it's so nice. Even though I'm not at college anymore, I've still got
Yeah.
someone like that that still supports me.
Yeah. I think everybody needs their person, right?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's you need your own champion, because we all doubt ourselves. I don't care what job you do and who you are, we all doubt whether we're the right for the role, whether we're capable of doing it. And actually having a support mechanism like someone like that is fantastic. But also I think having knowing that you've got those skills behind you and you've done them properly and you've learned them gives you that confidence to be able to take those next steps. Would you agree? I mean, I think, you know, what do they say? I'm going to get it the wrong way around. You know, if you don't prepare, you fail, right? I'm not going to attempt it because I will get it wrong. But, you know, you have to be prepared in order not to fail. And that goes back to the education. And that education and those courses and your tutors and tutors everywhere instilling that confidence in the students, no matter where they're from, background, age, doesn't matter, that they've got the ability and they can do whatever they want to do. Because the only thing holding you back, I think, in this industry is your own imagination, in a sense.
I
don't
think
know
it's a
what you guys.
privilege to work in this industry, and it's all the joy to hear George talk about his story. I've had the pleasure of working with him, and
Yeah.
he's part of our VTCT Skills campaign. But there's Maries all over this country, isn't there? This country is absolutely full of fabulous, dedicated teaching staff who really,
Yeah.
really want to see Laura being one of them, award-winning. But, you know, everyone cares so much and everyone does need a champion. And I think we can all probably relate to who mentored us throughout our career. I still look up to my original people, and still do now every day look up to people. And I think that everyone does need that champion, and this industry is full of people who are championing the future of it. And I definitely see that all across the UK.
Yeah.
And big shout out to you, George. You're doing fantastic.
And I think that's what makes this industry so special. And I think that's why people don't want to leave it, because there is that community, and people, you know, Monday night we have the British Hairdressing Awards. People support everybody regardless of whether they win or lose. So that's, you know, that doesn't happen in every industry, and we shouldn't take that for granted. And I think because we're all in it, we probably do.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely take it for granted. I think like our job as educators is we need to understand that it's our job to have a positive impact, no matter what that is, no matter whether it's teaching a blow dry or whether it's just to be the one person that young person can come to and can trust no matter what. And that's my goal, is to have a positive impact no matter where the student's from, no matter what course I'm doing, and to give them a clear structure.
Yeah. No, I think that's fab. And just finally, before we finish up, we were also saying, we've talked about the soft skills, but actually now, you know, people, it's not easy out there and we can't pretend it is. People need to have the business skills and the business savvy to be able to, if they're managing their own business. So Nick, just come to you on that. There's more around that, isn't there, coming in those kind of skills?
Yeah, I think that when we look at how we are constantly evolving our offering, it's ensuring that we speak directly to industry. So we work with our skills advisory board, with our industry leaders, with collectives, with our colleges, to make sure that we're designing the correct programs that are fit for purpose to empower people moving forward. So it isn't just the educational, the vocational, it is those wider business skills, the leadership and management that people need, how to run your own business, how to be a freelancer, how to manage your own money. The list is endless, but it's really about us kind of working collaboratively with the industry and listening and understanding to what those skill gaps are, and then empowering the learners to achieve their goals through the right programs.
And I'm going to come to each of you to finish up, but if you had one thing that you would say to people either on their learning journey or in industry that's been really important to make the difference to you, what would it be?
Say yes to everything.
Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
Say yes
Don't miss
to
an opportunity.
everything. Just try everything, do everything, and every single opportunity that you get for another tiny bit of learning, education, following somebody, watching somebody, just do it all.
Yeah, take it. Take it. George, would you agree with that?
But definitely, I live by those words day in, day out. And any opportunity I get, I'm yes.
Brilliant.
But I think for me, it'd be take the little victories. I think, like we were saying, hairdressing can be quite emotionally challenging on educators, students, stylists. I think take the little victories that you have each day, rather than looking at the negatives all the time. Because I think sometimes, as much as hairdressing can be a good community, I think sometimes you can be a bit too hard on yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. No, absolutely. Nicola?
Yeah, I would say absolutely never stop learning. Think bigger, empower yourself to absolutely achieve more. The world is your oyster with this industry, and you never, ever, ever stop learning.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been lovely to see you all this morning. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all soon. We will come back and answer any questions and comments in our Facebook feed. So it's on Facebook Live now, but it will go on HJ's Instagram tomorrow. So just keep an eye on there, and then we'll come back to people if they have any questions. But thanks again. Thank you so much to VTCT Skills for this morning, and to Laura, George and Nicola for joining me. Thanks ever so much, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.